What do you think about the draw? What were your initial reactions when it first came out? Everybody's talking about it.
I don't really care. I mean, here's the thing. I love a challenge, and I read. I was watching Free Solo last night, and the guy said, his name's Alex. He said, "You love that your." I don't know if he even said this, but I think it was him. But he said that you love that your goal demands the best of you. Like you love that the goal that you have demands the best. And so when every guy is out there, it demands my best. Like they're really good guys, so it demands the best of my, like, that I can wrestle. So it's not like, I wrestle 50% and I beat some guy. No, every single opponent I have this weekend is going to demand my best. And so that's what I love. I love it. So
yeah. In a roundabout way, are there some benefits to this in that it heightens your awareness match to match? You don't start looking who you got in the semis or finals.
I really don't even, like, yesterday I forgot who I even really will have in the finals, or have in the semis, or have in the quarters. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll have a tough match first round, and I've watched some film, but I'm confident, I'm ready. I'm not overconfident to where I go out there and I'm like, okay, not shooting or anything. Like, I got this and time ticks, but I got to go to get my attacks, and so.
How are you better than you were a year ago?
I think a year ago I was wrestling with protecting something, and I think now I'm wrestling with a lot of freedom, and I'm getting better each match, and I'm I think I'm listening to the coaches more too. Like last year I could hear the coaches, but I wasn't listening, and so in practice, if the coach says do this, I actually do it, and I actually respond, and in a match it's the same thing. So.
You talk about wrestling with more freedom. Where does that come from?
I feel like it comes from my spiritual, being a Christ follower. Honestly, if you have so much pressure on yourself about, I think a good contrast was the semis and finals, and at the Big Tens. I was kind of, everyone knew, they could tell me, oh, you were trying to protect something out there. You're trying to hold something, you're holding back. And for me in the finals, I was like, okay, I had so much freedom, and I was like, all right, I have the power, I'm strong, I can do this. And the semis, I was like, okay, watch his ankle pick, I'm up by one. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the time, the score, and like I said in my last interview, it doesn't matter about that, but just wrestle. So. What
kind of things does winning 2 straight against a 2-timer do to reinforce things for you?
Yeah, I think, like I said in the past interview, Tom, if you'd watch his reaction after I won, he wasn't all that pumped up, because it should be expected, because I'm that, he thinks I'm that good. And so that's something that Tom's always told everyone, is that you should be a Big Ten champion, you should be a national champion, and we're on to Pittsburgh. And so after I beat him, it's okay, you did your job. So yeah.
How have things changed from a leadership standpoint now? You've been through this once. I think you're probably a guy that's a face of the program in a lot of ways. How do things change now that you're not the young guy?
Yeah, I think just doing what you need to do, and don't. Obviously, it's better that people can follow you with success and stuff like that. But honestly, that's what life is all about right now. Is you're measured by your success, and at the same time, I'm trying to get the big scheme of things. Is you're leading these guys on and off the mat, and if you win, that's great, but off the mat, how are you holding yourself, how are you talking to the team, and how are you bringing guys up? And I think I'm focusing on that more. So on the mat, they know I can do my job, but off the mat, how do I bring guys up? And yesterday I was teaching some things to DeSanto and just helping him out, and that's the things that matter. So
is that something that you've been comfortable with all along?
Yeah, I counseled camps over the summer, every summer in high school, and I think that helped me get comfortable with leading kids and in a positive way, and not telling them things to bring them down, or put them down, but to bring them up. You know what I mean? So if I tell DeSanto keep your elbows in, it's not keep your elbows in, man. That's terrible. No, it's keep your elbows, man. If you get those in, no one can ride you, and building that confidence. And that's huge. To hear that from someone, I'm not saying to pat myself on the back, but I believe, he knows I believe in him, and that's all you need sometimes.
So who do you look to? Obviously probably Tom and Terry and Morningstar and everybody on the staff, but otherwise, who are leaders you look to learn how to be a good leader?
I mean, everyone. I think I was at breakfast the other day, and I was with Gilman, and we were talking, and I said something about, like, something that I want, like, material-wise, like I'll buy this or something like that, like, and Gilman's like, oh, you're only a Big Ten champ, you're not a national champion, you can't be talking like that, like, and it just kind of, like, I was like, oh, like, I didn't really realize that I was saying something like that, and in that way, and Gilman just put me, like, just kind of led me, and that's the things that, like, I'm, want to do, and it wasn't like Gilman said it to the whole group, but he said it, like, in my ear, like, to build me up, and I think that's the things that, the people that I look towards is everyone that, says things in a positive way and not a condescending way. You know what I'm saying? Because people can get that.
Yeah, to empower people,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I mean, do you listen to like those things you listen to, like leadership podcasts and things like that? Do you get into that stuff, or
I don't know,
books and things of that nature?
Yeah. I don't know. I've taken a couple classes. Like, I'm in, like, a coaching track, so I mean, maybe that helps. But at the same time, I've listened to Tom, and he's really worked with me on, like, how I talk to guys, and people sometimes people don't think the way you do, and you can't approach people the way you think you can. And so, like, I need to be approached a different way than, like, DeSanto does, or like Spencer
Sure.
Lee. And so that's something that I've been working on in my freshman year. I didn't really, like, realize that. So.
Is that something that you think? I mean, not everybody's cut out for a leadership role. I mean, some people follow better than they lead. Mm-hmm. What do you think he saw in you?
I think he saw, like, an opportunity, and he got a kid that can lead this team to, a national title, and he believes in that, and he saw an opportunity, and he's like, I'm not going to let this opportunity go by, and so when something needs to be said, he's going to say it. And that's what I love about Tom, is I don't come in here every day and, like, hide from him, or, like, we have a relationship. We want to talk to each other. And that's the whole thing about coaching and being an athlete, is you have to have a relationship, because what if I come in here and don't talk to Tom every day? Like, how good of a relationship are we going to have? Like, not very good. So he wants to build a relationship and say, hey, this is how you do this is how you wrestle, like, and then if I talk to DeSanto, he'll hear something, and then he'll come up to me the next day and say, hey, you said this, maybe you can say this. So yeah, it's really good.